Hi everyone, Linda Reed. Welcome to my office as we share with you today some tips on the world of Facebook groups and inactive members. Now, I've seen it recently. Most recently, I've seen experts within my field and working within Facebook groups mentioning, that we should be removing inactive members of our Facebook groups. Now, I just want to say stop for a second. Just breathe. And I'm going to share with you why you may not want to remove those inactive members and what actually we can track and we can see when we look at an individual member when it comes to being active inside our Facebook group. Now, for those of you who are joining me, this is day 7 of the Veda challenge here for me. I'm testing out the Restream platform today. So I do just want to quickly go and check if I am actually live at this stage in time and everything is going through to the channel as it should be. We're going to hope that it is. And I'm just going to do a quick sound check and then we'll get underway because we are testing new software today. If you haven't tried out Restream, it looks pretty far. And yes, you can hear me and everything's going well. So we're good to go. If you haven't checked out Restream, feel free to check it out. It's a pretty cool platform. As you can see, they've got some cool graphics and I can't wait to play much. I can customize our graphics and share some amazing stuff along the way. Okay, so delving into today's session and what we're going to talk about is Facebook groups, okay? And as I said, I've seen people out there saying, I should be removing the inactive members of the group. How do I tell if they're inactive? What are they doing? And I've seen people advising it out there with you. Now, I have been running business for 7 years. Over that time, I've seen Facebook groups change, seen our community grow, and I can tell you that the inactive members, as people are calling it and what you can see, may not actually be inactive members when we come looking at running through those things. So I've spent a little bit of time running Facebook groups and I have my experience and my mojo when it comes to running a Facebook group and adminning it. Now I've got a few notes here because I want to make sure that I do cover with you all the importance and how we can tell an active member. And I'm going to show you where you can see what your group activity is like at the end of this video as well, so that you can really engage and make an informed decision before you decide to remove those active group members. My advice is don't. Okay, because when we start to see what the measures of activity are and what we can actually see individually on a member, it might mean that we're actually removing someone who doesn't. And case in point, we have had successful clients come through to both Clive and myself through business with members who technically would have been inactive. They haven't commented or they haven't liked. Okay, so what is activity inside a group from your member? So, obviously there's the two major ones which we can see per member, and that are if someone likes a post, so if they give a thumbs up, a reaction, angry face, smiley face, whatever face they give, that is one of the activities that we have from there. The other activity is if they comment on a post, if they comment and, engage in someone else's post and put some comments out there. That's another activity point along the way that we can see. And we can then see from the admin panel, we can see if someone has posted themselves and what have they posted. So what is their involvement and their activity been within the group? Now, I say inside business, we have a strong guideline to actually encourage both of those things and to promote the business. Our members must engage in conversation in the group, which means they must like and comment and get involved with the conversations within the group. So we have yay threads and conversation starters that, allow them to join in the conversation. So we're not restricting them from being able to promote, but we do make sure that we are able to do those things. So that helps with our activity and it helps with our engagement and it helps without saying that. But we still have members after 7 years who say that they just don't feel like they want to comment or they have anything of value to add. And I get that because each person learns differently, and as they're taking in information from your group and community, it may not be a like or a comment, it may not be anything like that they need to delve into, so they may not comment. But there are other forms of activity that those members have, and they're the ones who click on a link, they watch your video, they actively come to the group each day to scroll through and read some posts, or they, click on an image. They look at an image that's shared inside that group. And that's all activity that is counted to how active your group members are but it's not something that shows up on the personal profile when you go and have a look at whether someone is active in your community and in your group. Now, Facebook are taking care of inactive members or inactive accounts by quite often making things unavailable. So if it's a spammer or somewhere like that, they'll make it unavailable. And you take care of people who don't follow your guidelines by blocking them. And that really is the level of removing people with inside your community, because those lurkers, those people who are looking at your information, you just never know when they're going to come by from you. You don't know if they've been watching your group or your community for a little period of time. And the last thing we want to do is remove someone. Okay. And as you know, Rory from the Gilmore Girls say, if we remove someone, it's going to make adults think about coming back. It's going to make adults think about coming back once. So if you remove someone, you're creating that barrier between that person and you to make a sale down the track. They now feel like, oh, you didn't feel good enough to give me the support. I'm going to go and find someone else. And that's the last thing we want if we're building a community with Facebook, is to remove inactive members and make them feel like they're not valued within that space. So we're going to delve off now, and I'm going to screen share with you. So just give me a second. I just had a Facebook message pop up, so I'm going to move that one. And we will jump into our screen share today. So we'll just switch that over. I'm going to show you where you can see your insights. So your insights on your group settings will actually pop in here under growth. So under insights and growth, you've got your ability to see what your people are doing. Okay. Well, I tend to like to look at the last 60 days. It tends to give me a more accurate representation than 30 days of what the group has been up to. And you will see how many posts the group has had, how many active members it's had. And, you know, you can get to see some trends on where people are the most active and what's been happening. You can look at the popular days of your group. You can look at the popular times of your group. Now, bearing in mind that these still relate to Pacific Standard Time, so you might need to transfer it. You can look at the top performing posts. So how did they go with reach? How did they go with engagement? And you can see the content from there. Now, these are the spots that we need to worry about the individual posts, but we need to know how many people are turning up. And out of 33,000 members, having 21,500 of them active is pretty good. You know, we know that there are going to be people that just grab information when they need to. They might forget about us, or we're not popping up in their newsfeed. So, you know, we know that's part of the process, and we're happy with that process. Have we got our posts? Yes, they're going well. And they're running through, so we're pretty happy from there. So what we need to do when it comes to, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and come back to the camera over here. What we need to do when we're assessing our members is not assess whether we can assess their level of activity. What we need to do is assess our members on the point of, are they doing what we ask? Are they following our guidelines? Are they participating within our community? And if they're doing all of that, then we really don't have a right to remove them. And that's my opinion. And I think when we're building about communities, we need to respect that our communities are going to be made up of lots of different people. Okay, so the guidelines are one space, but how they take the information in that's shared within that community, that's up to them. Let them do it the way that they want to do it. If we're not looking at the fact that our engagement maybe isn't high or our reach on our posts are down, then maybe we need to look at our content. Maybe we need to look at the content and the information that we're sharing with our people, because we may not be asking for engagement. We may not be encouraging people to take action, and we may not have those discussion and conversation starters that I mentioned inside business to help you along the way. So if you're missing those elements, then you, of course, your reach and your engagement, they're talking about conversation. That's what they're talking about. It's not going to increase for you. So I'm going to leave you with a final tip today. If you want some more help, then feel free to head across to the Creating Communities with Facebook group e-course, which I have, and I'll pop in with the description and in the comments for you very shortly after this video, to allow you to be able to delve into creating communities with Facebook groups with me. Now, that course is also available as part of our Marketing Circle membership, which means you get access to my whole course libraries and getting tips and tricks from me each and every month in a Q&A session and a how-to session as well. So I'm going to leave you with that. Really seriously think about before you remove inactive members in your Facebook group, and make sure that they're really inactive, or make sure it's actually going to be doing something and it's not costing you time, because it's going to take just a little bit of time to remove those members. And remember, you just never know where your next lead, your next sale is coming from. And that could be some quiet, not so active as what we can see in the world of Facebook per member stuff, because we can only see per member likes, comments, and posts. So just bear that in mind, that we want to make sure that we are definitely serving our community and enabling the most leads that can come to us in the best way possible. I'll leave it with you. I will see you tomorrow for those in the Veda challenge. And I hope you've enjoyed this tip. If you have, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, comment, let me know. And while we're here, do a little bit of Facebook networking. Share your Facebook group in the comments so that we can all go and network and educate and find what each other's doing inside of our Facebook groups. I'll see you next time.